On the phone with us now, Ayla Brown, the daughter of Senator-elect Scott Brown, and well-known in her own right, a contestant on American Idol Season 5, a Boston College senior, and a basketball player to boot. Not to mention she's got an album coming out, Circles, debuting on iTunes January 26th. Good to have you on, Ayla.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Now, let me ask you this first. Have the last few months, with an already busy schedule, as it seems like you have, on top of which seeing your dad become Senator-elect, what has it been like?
It has been very busy, but very exciting. And I feel like it only started hitting me this past month. And the reason I say that is because before about a month ago, I was kind of behind the scenes and I didn't really want to make a political jump into the campaign because politics isn't really my thing. I mean, I don't like to tell my dad that, but he knows. But when his opponent, Martha Coakley, started running negative false ads about my dad, I, as a daughter, was saying to myself, okay, this isn't right. I know my dad. I know what he stands for, and this is absolutely incorrect. So my sister and I, we decided to hold the press conference, and ever since then, I've just been loving every single moment, and I couldn't get enough of it. It's been really fun. So this past month has just been an absolute whirlwind for me.
Absolutely. And let me go back to that night just for a second now. Backstage with your parents awaiting the result, the nation waiting for that result. I mean, did you sort of realize the scope at that point of this election? I mean, everybody. I mean, if you look at the TV ratings afterwards, 8 million people watching Fox, 6 million watching CNN. I mean, what was that like backstage?
Well, to be honest, my dad was with my mom and my sister upstairs with some media watching the TV, getting some pictures taken. I was downstairs backstage about to be introduced on the stage to sing with James Montgomery and his band. And right before I went out, someone grabbed me from the staff and said, Ayla, Martha Coakley has just conceded the race. Your dad won. And I said, what? And they're like, do you want to announce it? Do you want to announce it? I said, yes, I want to announce it. I got through the first song the whole time knowing that my dad was the next senator.
Wow.
And I didn't tell people until right after I sang. And then when I did, it was just the most memorable moment as a daughter that I've ever had because I was so proud of him. I couldn't even celebrate with them upstairs. But from what I heard, my mom and them were watching the TV and some media were asking them questions and they're like, oh, that's my baby. Turn up the TV. Turn up the TV. She's so they completely forgot about the media and were trying to work the TV and trying to get me hear me sing. And my mom was excited about that more than anything. Oh, I saw you on TV singing. I'm like, Mom, I'm right downstairs. We are just such a normal family that stuff like that really excites us.
That is amazing. Now, have you been able to talk to your parents, or at least specifically your dad? He's been down in Washington now. Well, what has that been like? Has it been like it's your dad still, or is it like, he's that senator guy who's famous now?
You know what? Sometimes I feel like if I call him, he's going to be like, hello, may I help you? Every time I've called him, he's like, hey, baby, what's up? And I'm like, what is up, superstar? He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I think I'm more famous than you now.
No.
I was like, listen, don't get too ahead of yourself now.
has he... Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just saying, we just joke around with each other all the time. But he came back from Washington and was at my game last night.
Oh, that's great. Absolutely. What has that been like with all the new media attention? I mean, we're gonna get to some of his comments on campaign night in a second. But what is all the media attention? Not only surround. I mean, you're used to the media for some part. I mean, American Idol, obviously. But what has that been like? Sort of like this total. I mean, national media storm. What's that like?
It's been overwhelming in a way because I went from just being a normal senior in college, basketball, going to practice in class every morning. And now, just in the past week or so, I feel as though my life has totally morphed into something else. And I wasn't expecting that. I just thought, I would end this year being the singing basketball player that people have heard about on American Idol. But now I found out yesterday that 2 days ago my name was the number 2 most trended topic on Yahoo. And hearing that right behind Katie, I mean, it's an honor, but at the same time, I'm like, thank goodness Sadie was first. Come on, people. Let's get our priorities straight.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I have to ask, I'm going to play the soundbite in a second, but, specifically to your dad saying the following, go.
So I want to thank Ayla and Ariana for their help as well. And just in case anybody who's watching throughout the country, yes, they're both available.
There you go. So your dad says that on national TV. Like I said, 8 million on Fox News watching that. That's a dad moment. What did you feel? How did you feel at that? Were you embarrassed? Were you excited, or was it?
Oh my gosh! Let's just say that he's not a stand-up comedian. We'll just say he's been like that ever since I was starting to be interested in boys. Like, he always embarrasses me, which is, I think every daughter can relate to how I felt at that moment. The fact that he did it on national TV, we all laughed about it afterwards, and we're like, Dad, come on, you can't do that on national television. And he's like, I know, I'm sorry. And I'm like, clearly you know that this is going to cause some problems with future boyfriends.
Yeah.
It's sad.
So have you, I can only imagine the requests you've been getting, I mean, from around the country. Has it been...
You don't want to know. You do not want to know. I had someone Facebook me saying, let's just skip all the nonsense.
Oh, no.
Will you marry me?
Oh.
I'm like, okay, not responding to that.
Defriend, unfriend, block. Yeah, I totally get that. Now let me ask you. Let's try to sort through all of the nonsense now. Then what do you look for in a guy? Just so we can get out, weed out some of the guys. Come on. I got to, really simple. Top line here. What do you think?
Okay, well, this is totally an honest comment. I'm not just saying this.
Okay.
I like a guy who makes me laugh. I like a guy who understands my hectic lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I like a guy who can also be competitive because, hey, I play Division I basketball. Obviously, I'm going to be very highly competitive in almost everything I do, whether it's just like playing a video game or playing basketball, whatever it may be. Like, he has to have a little competitive edge to him. But really, it's all about a guy who can make me happy. Height, although is important, it's not the most important thing out there. I mean, I am 6 feet tall, but, if a guy can make me laugh, make me happy, then that's all that matters, and respect my family.
That is great. Ayla Brown, thank you so much for being with us. Folks, the album Circles comes out January 26th on iTunes. Ayla Brown, once again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.